The massive climate, health care, and corporate tax bill will now head to the House, where it is also expected to pass, before Biden signs the legislation into law sometime over the next week. No Senate Republicans supported the IRA, so Vice-President Kamala Harris delivered the tie-breaking 51st vote. The Budget Reconciliation Bill, which is a more limited iteration of what Democrats tried and failed to do with the Build Back Better package over the winter, contains the largest ever federal investment targeting climate change, about $370 billion worth, after decades of failed efforts to mount. That spending will mainly come in the form of tax credits to incentivize Americans and companies to transition to cleaner and more efficient energy use, and may ultimately enable the U.S. to reduce its greenhouse gas emissions by 40% by the end of the decade, which is definitely not enough. The IRA also inks the largest expansion of federal healthcare policy since the Obama-era Affordable Care Act. The bill will allow Medicare to directly negotiate prescription medicine prices with drug makers for the first time, another long-sought policy goal for Democrats, as well as force drug makers to pay rebates to the U.S. if they ever raise Medicare prices beyond the rate of inflation. Though the price negotiation won't take effect until 2026 and will initially only apply to 10 drugs, it will likely save both seniors and the federal government billions of dollars after it gets going. In addition, the IRA caps the amount of money seniors ever have to pay out of pocket for prescription drugs at $2,000 per year, starting in 2025, and they will also be guaranteed access to free vaccines. Another healthcare component of the IRA is a $64 billion three-year extension of insurance premium subsidies for 13 million low- and middle-class Americans who purchase coverage from state and federal exchanges under the ACA. Those pandemic-era subsidies were set to expire this year. The bill is meant to pay for itself, mainly by raising taxes on wealthy corporations and reducing the federal deficit. The legislation institutes a new corporate minimum tax rate of 15% on the profits of companies with more than $1 billion in annual revenue. There is also a new 1% tax on companies that buy back their own stock. And the IRA includes an $80 billion investment in the Internal Revenue Service with the aim of expanding the agency's ability to crack down on wealthy tax cheats, be they companies or people. The legislation of course accomplishes far less than what nearly all Democratic lawmakers had hoped for, primarily because they had to compromise with moderate Senators Joe Manchin, who stymied what had been the $2 trillion Build Back Better bill earlier this year, and Kyrsten Sinema,